So we're going to do a little customizing of the 2017 sales report. Let me quick save this. So what we are going to do is we're going to select the rep name label, and we're going to shift and click on the data. And then we're basically going to move all of this before client. And we're just going to left drag. So we're going to point in one of the controls. And when you see the four-headed arrow, you can left drag. And you're going to see a pink line go with your mouse. And when that pink line is before client, you can go ahead and release. And it will move that entire column. The next thing they want us to do is sort the sales data in ascending order, or descending order, excuse me. So we're going to click on anything in that column. We'll go to home, and then we're going to choose descending. And that puts the highest sales up at the top. And they want us to rename a couple of these controls, the labels at the top of the columns, to make them a little more user-friendly. So we're just going to double-click on the label, and that allows us to edit the label and give it a little different name. So we're going to do the same thing for sales. We're just going to call it Sales 2017. And rep name we changed to representative. Now what they would like us to do is take all of the detail information in the table and kind of center it a little better below the heading. So you just really need to click anywhere in the table to display that move handle, and if we click on that, the entire table is selected. And then we're just going to left drag straight across, and you're just kind of trying to center this below the heading. And once it looks centered, you're going to release, and now our data is centered below the heading. Now they do want us to quick take a look at this in print preview, so I'm going to save. And we'll go into print preview. So this is what it looks like when it prints. Okay, and you'll notice if you have multiple pages, you can display multiple pages next to each other. There is a zoom feature that lets you get close up. If you click the mouse when you see the minus, it zooms out. If you click the mouse when you see the plus, it zooms in. Okay, so you can see kind of the whole report, or you can kind of focus in on whatever section you're interested in. So we're not actually going to print this. What we're going to do is close print preview, make sure you have saved this, and then we can close out of this 2017 report. So we're going to create a report using the representative tables. So we're going to click on representatives, go to create, and we're going to choose report. Now immediately you're going to notice there is a little issue because we have a dashed line going through the end of the report, and that dashed line indicates a page break. So our report is on 2 pages. And what we're going to need to do is resize some of these columns so that everything fits on 1 page. So we're going to click on rep name, and we are going to position on the right border, and we're going to left drag, and we're going to make this width 16 characters. So in the lower left corner, you are looking for character 16, and then you can release. And for telephone, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to set it to 12. And then for email, same thing. Whoa, let me undo that. Got to pay attention. For email, we're going to do the same thing and set that to 13. Now, quota ID is going to be a little different because instead of dragging to adjust the size, we're going to go into the property sheet and we're going to go into the format section. We're actually going to set a width, and our width is going to be 0.8. And then we're going to come up to the title, and we're going to set a height and width for the title as well using properties. So we're going to do a width of 2 inches and a height of 0.6. Whoop. And at this point, we're done with properties, and we're going to close it. So to change the width, you can basically click on the data or the heading and drag, or you can open up the properties and adjust it in there. So either technique works. Our next little task is going to be to search for some data. So we'll go to Home, and we're going to use the Find command. And you can do this in Report View or Layout View. It doesn't matter which one. We're going to look for the number 2. And they want us to look for whole field. And they also want us to be over here in Rep ID. Now, if we're looking for whole field and we're looking under Rep ID and we click on Find Next, let's try that again. It went to the wrong one. So this is our current field. Yeah, why don't we go to a different view? Let us go into Report View. We'll try this again. We'll click over in Rep ID, and we'll look in the current field, whole field, and we'll click Find Next. It's not going to find anything because we don't have the number 2 in here. Now over in Quota ID, we actually do. So if we do Find Next over here, that's not going to be a problem, okay? But it is if we try to use Rep ID. Okay, so Quota ID works fine because the value exists. For Rep ID, if we wanted to look for a 2, we'd probably have to change Match to any part of the field because we have numbers with 2s in them, but we don't have a number that is only 2. So if we change it to any part of field, then we can look in Rep ID without a problem. We're also going to look up Lydia. And we're going to click in the name field. And any part of the field is correct because we don't have anything with just Lydia. Okay, we have first and last name. So we're going to go ahead and Find Next. And it should have found a record with Lydia's name. And now they would like us go into Rep ID and look for number 17. And we want to match the whole field. And it should find a 17 here. That should not be a problem. Okay, and it does. Now they would like us to go to Print Preview and kind of take a look. And I can see there is one thing I need to do here. I need to go into Layout View and get rid of this thing. You probably have already done that because that was a previous step. All right, now I'm going to go back into Print Preview. Okay, so we're taking a look at this. And if I go to the next page, you will notice that we have a little problem with the width of the report itself. It is too wide. Okay, we don't want a second page of basically nothing. So we need to adjust the width of this report. And to do that, we can go into page setup, and we can also check our margins. So why don't we set our margins to normal, first of all, and then we'll go into page setup and take a look at the column width. So basically it's saying in our report we have one big column, and it's 15, almost 16 inches wide. And that is the problem. So let's change this to 8 inches, and we'll click OK. Now, we're still on a second page. Okay? And that is not what we want. We need to be on one page. So we're going to do this again. Why don't we do 7.5? And that did get us on one page. Now we're going to go ahead and save. Representatives is fine. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So you should see it over on your list of reports. And we're going to delete the sales report. They no longer want us to have that. So we're just going to right click and delete. We'll say yes. And we will be moving on for the next report.